Hello, hello, hello. It is Angela Logan with Everyday Shenanigans. Thanks for joining me. I'd like to discuss a more serious topic today. It is about the prolific serial killer, Mr. Samuel Little, 78 years of age, African American male. He has been dubbed this title by the FBI. He has been a very, very busy man, killing women all over the United States. He has been linked to a woman here in the Knoxville area. I'm going to give you a little bit of information about Mr. Little. He has been arrested 100 times in over 50 years, a 50-year span. He was arrested 100 times. As I said, he is currently 78 years of age. He is currently housed in a correctional facility in the state of California. He has been giving confessions to local police agencies of his killings. They say they do believe him, and it's just a matter of, I guess, piecing it all together, putting victims with his timeline and accounts of these victims. But they do believe him, and 14 states right now are currently involved, and it's just a matter of time of which state is going to bring forth charges. They have not decided yet on any current charges, I guess, because naturally you've got to gather, your information alongside the victims and do, your DNA and all that. So, but know that 14 states are currently involved in bringing forth charges. It's just not set in stone what the charges will be and when they will be and how many there will be. But he has been linked to a lady that lived here in the Knoxville area, a 34-year-old Martha Cunningham, and she was allegedly a piano player and a gospel singer. I don't know that she was a street woman. He has been known to choose street women, drug addicts, alcoholics, women who are destitute, far away from family, women of the night. That was the demographic that he chose. So her sister's not saying that she was of this caliber, so I don't know how he crossed paths with her. I had heard that he was, he had drove trucks. I could have sworn I heard someone say that, so I'm not really sure, but if he was a truck driver at the time when she met him, back in the 70s or whatever. But she got gone, she got missing, and she got dead, and he killed her. Sad to say. And the sister was like, every time she'd go inquire about the sister's death, there was no information, no suspects. Find out there wasn't even a file on her. And there's an investigator by the last name of Davenport who worked with the Knoxville Sheriff's Department, if I'm saying that correctly. He retired last year, and he said that basically nothing was done about her case, that they dropped the ball, and there wasn't even a file on her. Now, although her death was initially deemed unknown, her death, but then it was reopened, I guess, when this walkie-talkie started telling, hey, I've been down there in Knoxville, Tennessee, knocked me off a young lady down there. Then now all of a sudden there's interest in the case. So, it's really sad. And it just so happened she was an African-American woman. And we hear all the time about African-American women, deaths in general, go unnoticed. Women who are murdered, who are deemed, unfit or unsavory, that naturally no one's out there hooping and hollering that they're missing, So there's no national attention, there's no local attention to the missing or being found dead. So, I think it's really sad this happened to this lady. And then there's a case of another lady in Florida, a young lady who went missing. She was from Memphis. And what's crazy about her story is she was talking to her mother on the phone, that she had gotten into some type of trouble down there in Florida, and the mother wasn't even 72 hours later, she was found dead, dumped in the woods, in a wooded area by this man. He said he met her in a bar, and if I'm not mistaken, I want to say he strangled her. If I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on that. But the sad part is, he only remembered her because she fought back. Interesting, isn't it? She fought back, so he remembered her. And that is probably the craziest thing I've ever heard. Her name was Rosie Hill. And her mother, Miss Minnie Hill, had to raise her child, because the child was 2 at the time when the mother was found dead. So she ended up raising the granddaughter. And she said the thing that bothered her the most about the case was that she had forgave him, but when she had heard him give, I guess, some type of commentary to the police or the public that God told him to carry out these crimes, his crimes, I think that she was taken aback about that, because it was like, okay, I have forgiven this guy for murdering my child. Now he's saying that God told him to do this. So, how is she to feel after that? But like she said, it's between him and God. And she's right. It is between him and God. She got that right. That's true. But America is deeming this man a prolific serial killer. I never looked the word prolific up, but there has to be a reason why they've deemed him that. But I will tell you this much. Mr. Little has been compared to Mr. Lonnie D. Franklin, who was dubbed the Grim Sleeper in Los Angeles back in the early 80s or so. And the Grim Sleeper was killing women, street women as well. He killed 9 women and 1 teenage girl. This was in South Los Angeles. He had gotten the death sentence in 2016, so he is no longer living. And I know why they're comparing it, because of the type of women that each chose to kill. And naturally, there's a reason they kill those type of women, because these women are out engaging in risque behavior. They assume they don't care anything about themselves because they are prostituting, on drugs, No one's going to ask about them because they're 9 times out of 10, they're not dealing with their family. They're in and out of jail. They're house hopping from one place to the other, one domain to the other. So nobody's going to really care about them because they don't care about themselves. And that's why these women are deemed easier targets by men, killers, sadists. And that was his attitude as well. She's out here woo woo woo. Easy prey. Now, mind you, the Grim Sleeper, I watched a documentary about him a few years back, and this guy was known as a nice guy in the neighborhood. So you go put that on paper. The same guy that they're comparing to with Mr. Little, Samuel Little. The Grim Sleeper, Mr. Lonnie Franklin, D. Franklin Jr., he was known as a handyman. So he was that guy that you go to when you needed to put a door up or do something around the house or yard work, whatever. Had a real nice disposition. But little did people know that same guy that was friendly to everybody in the neighborhood, he was knocking off women in the nighttime, killing them. Okay? So be very careful of the people, you come in contact with, because what I always say to you all in these videos, same thing I say to people I meet every day. We're all flawed, we're all tainted, but all of us aren't murderers and killers. Sadists. We got some bad stuff about us that ain't great. And of course, in God's eyes, sin is sin, but still, like I said, we're of the flesh. When you start talking about murdering people, killing people, torturing people, to me still, that's just a whole nother ball game. That's a whole nother ball game. And as you see, Mr. Lonnie, the Grim Sleeper, he was just a regular guy that people liked. Because I heard that he was a nice guy. But he wasn't too nice because he was killing women at nighttime when nobody's looking and nobody's, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's got an eye view. He was doing his thing. Same thing with this Mr. Little. He's been linked to this place, that place, California, Kentucky, Tennessee, and God knows where else. Like I said, currently 14 states are getting together to see about bringing charges against him for future, old crimes. So it's pretty sad. It's really sad, and I feel sorry for the Martha Cunningham ladies. Her sister, she had made a commentary about. Her name was Miss Downs. This is the sister of the Martha Cunningham who passed away here in the Knoxville area. I feel sorry for her because it's like all these years, maybe something could have came about. That's what she said. Came about from this case. Other people would have had to lose their lives had Knoxville followed through with investigating her sister's death. But because they did not, let all this time elapse, we're not trying to do anything, boom, now here come the deaths of all these other women. And so you always also have to be mindful of if the person is known to travel and kill people, you're going to have a hard time finding them unless there's DNA on the record. So we all know there was no DNA testing in the 70s and the 80s and part early 90s. So this man, like so many other criminals, they've been able to have their way with killing people, dropping them off like nothing, and going on to the next place and killing somebody else. You know, it's a sad tale. But I think it's just sickening looking at this black man, older black man now, near 80. He's just a talking in that prison. Because if you Google his name right now, you'll have various stories coming up at the present time with something he's saying about these women out here, you know, going back in his memory, mentioning their names and scenarios. And it's sad because it's like somebody's granddaddy, great granddaddy. You feel me? And I'm wondering that. Does he have children? Did he ever marry? It's crazy. But I wanted to bring this story to you because most of you know, if you're following me, I am a true crime fan. I go to sleep at night to true crime. I fell asleep on ID late this morning. This is what I do. Netflix, all of that. I love documentaries. I love mysteries. I love a good whodunit, even when it's fiction. Not to, you know, glorify death, but I like to know who did it, why. Give me the circumstances. You know, I'm on top of it. I'm trying to figure it out. In these cases, I'm almost mesmerized by them just because I'm trying to figure out why this person did it, who did it. And when they're traveling, you're going to have a hard time trying to piece together who killed anybody when the suspects, culprits are running across the country from place to place. So as I said, Mr. Samuel Little, 78 years of age, African-American male, currently incarcerated in the state of California. He has been giving confessions as we speak to women who he has murdered in the U.S. He has been arrested 100 times in 50 years. So as you can see, he's been a very busy male. I just want to make sure I'm giving everything about him, giving you all the information. Now, the situation with the Rosie Hill lady that was killed in Florida, her mom, they said her body was so, you know, badly decomposed. The only way they could have recognized her was through x-rays. And the mama still didn't even want to believe it then, that was her child, even when it was confirmed that was her child. And I think that's, you know, so sad to even be notified, of course, that your child is dead and you just talked to your kid, you know, a couple of days ago, and then boom, she tell you she's in trouble. And then she crossed the path with this man she met in a bar. Now, next thing you know, she's dead. But they said, oh, this is something else I want to tell you before I check out of here. He was a boxer, and his mode of subduing the ladies was to knock them out. Now, you imagine that. This big guy, naturally, he's probably got big hands. Him punching a woman, and we already know it's going to be to the face. It ain't going to be to the shoulders. One knockout, boom, they're gone. Can die just from a knockout, okay? I mean, you watch boxing. If you're a sports fan, a boxing fan, you can get knocked out and get laid out, literally, and not get up. Head trauma, all that. So imagine being a woman getting knocked out by a big guy. Oh, yeah, it's a wrap. He can do whatever he wants to you. You're not woke. You don't know where you're at because you're not woke. That's so cowardly. Killing a woman, period, is cowardly. Stalking them, going out hunting, looking for a woman, a girl, is a coward's way of living. But to just go up to somebody, talking to them, hey, how you doing? You're looking pretty, you know, whatever word he used, terminology, and then get along with her and punch her, and then have your way with her, and then dispose of her, and then on to the next. That was Samuel Little, like so many others. I'll keep you guys posted on Mr. Little. And you all stay safe out there, America. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for giving Big Ange a chance. I really appreciate it. Until the next video, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.